Hi everybody, welcome to this video and the first in a series that I'm going to be developing over the next couple of months. So I noticed that online there aren't any video resources on the solutions for the South African Programming Olympiad, so I decided to take up the task myself to run through these problems if you're struggling to understand what's going on in the memos. And just a couple prerequisites before we get into this. This is specifically for those that are in C++. As for with regards to the header files, I'm using this one over here, which is a capture all header file. It's usually advised you don't use it, but I'm going to be using it in any case. But in the case that you're having trouble with this, I'm going to, in the comments section, I'll put in all the necessary header files if it's not working in your IDE. So anyways, without further ado, let's get started. Anyways, for this first question, we're given 3 integers, which is the number of chickens, cows, and bees respectively, and then we're just asked to output the total number of legs amongst them all. So what I've done in my in the solution here is I've first declared 3 integers, namely chickens, cows, and bees, and then I've extracted them from the input stream, and then I've just outputted chickens times 2, cows times 4, and bees times 6, all added together. And that's the end of this solution. And if we test this with the practice input, which is 5, 2, and 10, should give us 78. And it does. So this one's very easy, and that's about it really. Then on to question 2. I'm just going to uncomment this code here because I have it readily prepared. So in this problem, we're given a number which is the length of a row of tiles, and these tiles alternate from black to white. And on each tile we have 2 to the number of the tile minus 1 grains of wheat on that specific tile. So to represent this graphically, we're going to have something that looks like this. So I used n equals 7 as an example. You can see that the number of grains of wheat is 2 to the number of the tile minus 1. And we're just going to output the number of grains of wheat in all the black tiles added together. So in this case it would be 85. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to iterate through a loop that goes from the first tile to the last tile. And if the tile is an odd number, because you can see the black tiles are just odd numbered tiles, we're going to add it to our answer. And that's practically it. Let me show you what's going on in the solution here. So we get the number n, and we extract it from the input stream. Sorry, we declare the number, the variable n, and we extract it from the input stream, and then we declare 2 integers here. Well, actually long integers. The reason I've done this is because, or as they've also noted here, is you might get integer overflow. So we use longs to deal with very large integers. So just keep that in mind. This won't be a problem in Python, I don't think. I'm not too sure about Java, but just keep this in mind. Oh, they've actually mentioned, yeah. Okay, I see. So yeah, we're going to declare, first of all, this is what we're going to output, the total grains on black tiles, and we're going to initialize it to 0. And the grains on the current tile, this is going to be used to keep track of the power of 2 that we're on. So then we're going to iterate through a loop from, and we're going to use the integer I from 1 to n. And if I is equal to 1, then we set the grains on the current tile to 1. This is this first tile over here. Otherwise, the grains on the current tile is equal to the grains on the current tile. This should actually be the former tile times 2. So for example, this tile is going to be the number of grains here times 2, and then this tile is going to be the number of grains here times 2, and so on and so forth. And that's how we're going to keep track of the power. And then if we're going to check if I is odd, and if it is odd, then we're going to add it to the total grains on the black tiles. And to check this, we just check, we have I modulo, if I modulo 2 is equal to 1, then it's odd. Because any odd number divided by 2 gives us a remainder of 1. And that's actually it for the solution. Let's just put this to the test. We'll try. Oops, my bad, I've got on. I had to comment this out. Let's test 6. And finally 41. Oops, sorry, I pressed the wrong thing here. And now we'll test 51, which is the largest test case, and the maximum test case I think is 62. So if we test this, we get this huge number. Then we go to 63. Yeah, you'll see this is it's overflowing now. 64. Yeah, you'll see we get the same number over and over again because it can't store anything larger. So that's it for this solution. I'm just gonna comment this out and move on to the next one. Then for the final one, we are given a string of letters separated by plus signs, capital letters separated by plus signs, and we're asked to arrange the string in decreasing order lexicographically, as in from the largest letter in the alphabet to the smallest letter. So what we have to do is first remove the plus sign so we can deal with only capital letters, and then we'll sort that string just with capital letters, and then as our output, we're just going to add pluses between the letters, and that's going to be the solution. So just ignore this function over here for now. So we're going to declare an input string. We'll extract the input string from the input stream. Then we're going to declare another string called output string, which is going to be initialized to nothing. And then we're going to iterate through a loop from 0 to the last index of the input string. And then if the input string at that index doesn't equal plus, then add it to the output string. So we extract only the capital letters, and that will be our output string. Then we sort the output string, and we use this descending function to sort it in descending order, because the default for sort is ascending order. So to do this, what you do is you create a new function. I'm just going to call it descending, and then you pass as parameters a const char, and then as reference and a, and const char and b. And then you just return a larger than b. So this is just going to arrange it in descending order, and that should give us a sorted output string. And now what we're going to do is we're going to add pluses in between all the letters. So we're going to iterate through a loop from 0 to the last letter in the output string. And then this is a little bit confusing here. You might not understand this if you haven't covered ternary operators. I'm just going to scroll out, or actually I'll keep it in and then scroll to the right. So we output the letter, and then we only output plus if it's not the last position in the string. Because if it's the last position in the string and we add a plus, then we're going to have a plus at the end of our string, which we don't want. So to do ternary operators, you just put it in brackets, then you have your the thing you're checking. So we're checking if I is the last number in output string's length, or -1, because remember the string's length is indexed from 0 to the length -1. And then this question mark, and if this is true, then we output this is true, we output plus, otherwise we output an end line. I wanted to do it like this, but you're not allowed to output nothing, so just put an end line. It doesn't really affect it anyway. And this I'll just test with some of the test cases. As you can see, it's arranged in descending order now. Now I'm just going to test with this last case over here. Yeah, it should all work. I can't test these because I have to put them on one line, otherwise it'll give me not an error, but it won't work. Yeah, it doesn't work at all. Anyways, that's it for all the problems in round 1 of 2020. I'm hoping to do 2019 next and then work through the years, and then eventually I'll go into round 2 in the same order, and if I'm good enough, I'll try the final round. But the questions do get quite tricky. So anyways, that's it for this. Cheers.